We all want our loved ones to be safe, happy, and independent for as long as they possibly can be. And as technology keeps evolving, it's completely changing how we think about that goal. It's really transforming the whole idea of what it means to age at home. So let's dive in and see how.
And that's the big question, right? It's a question that's on so many of our minds, whether we're thinking about our parents, our grandparents, or hey, even our own futures. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how a new wave of technology is starting to give us some really powerful answers.
But first, before we get to the solutions, we really have to understand the problem. The way we currently handle elder care is facing some massive pressure. These are challenges that affect families and our entire healthcare system every single day.
And look, these aren't just abstract bullet points on a screen. These are very real hurdles. We're talking about huge numbers of emergency room visits that could have been prevented, an incredible strain on care facilities, and the daily struggle families go through just trying to manage complex health needs right at home. It's a system that is stretched incredibly thin.
So, what's the alternative? Well, the goal that pretty much everyone is shooting for is this idea called aging in place. It's really just the ability to live in your own home, in your own community, safely and comfortably, no matter how old you are or what your abilities might be. This quote really just nails the core idea perfectly. It's not about checking in once a day or, calling once a week. The new vision is all about creating this complete, nonstop, real-time picture of a person's well-being. And that proactive approach, that is the real game changer here. Okay, so how do we actually get that big picture view? It really comes down to a whole toolkit of smart technologies, and they generally fall into two main camps when it comes to monitoring. The big difference is how they work. Active monitoring needs you to do something, like physically push an SOS button. It's direct, it's immediate. Passive monitoring, on the other hand, just works quietly in the background, gathering info on daily routines without the person having to lift a finger. And when you combine the two, that's when you get a really powerful safety net. So this all builds out into a really practical toolkit. You've got different devices handling different jobs. There are specialized tools for making sure medication is taken, personal alert devices, and sensors for tracking activity in the home. See, no single device does it all, which is exactly why they're designed to work together, creating these layers of safety. Let's start with what you might call the passive guardians. These are sensors you place around the home, and it's super important to note, these are not cameras. They simply track movement. They can tell if a loved one hasn't moved for a while, which could mean a fall, or they can send an alert if the front door opens at 2 a.m. Over time, they build a picture of what's normal, so even tiny changes in behavior can be flagged early on. Then you've got the active lifeline. This is usually a wearable device that works anywhere you can get a cell signal. It has that classic SOS button for emergencies, but it's also smart enough to detect a fall automatically. It can also do something called geofencing, which is basically creating a virtual safety zone that can send an alert if someone with, say, dementia wanders beyond a familiar area. And finally, we've got one of the biggest challenges of all, medication. An automated dispenser is such a simple idea, but it's an incredibly effective tool. It organizes those complex pill schedules and pops out the right dose at the right time. This dramatically cuts down on the risk of mistakes, which, by the way, is a major reason for all those preventable visits we talked about earlier. Now look, having these individual devices is a fantastic start, but the real power, the true breakthrough, happens when you connect all the dots and make them work together as one smart, coordinated system. This is where data turns into actual insight. Here's how it works, and this process is what makes it so powerful. First, the devices are just out there collecting raw data on everything from movement to whether meds were taken. Then, all that data flows securely into a central hub. It's in this hub that it all gets analyzed to create that complete picture of someone's health. And based on that picture, the care plans and alerts can be totally customized. So it's no longer just a simple fall alarm, it's a smart system that learns and adapts. This central hub is basically the software brain of the whole operation. It's what securely pulls all the hardware together, and it lets different people, like family members, doctors, professional caregivers, have the right level of access to the right information, all while keeping everything totally private and compliant. So, all this technology is cool, but what does it actually accomplish? What's the real-world impact for seniors, for their families, and for the healthcare system? Let's break it down. First and foremost, by catching issues early, like a small change in activity that might signal an infection,
or just making sure medications are taken correctly, this technology helps stop emergencies before they even start. A small alert today can literally prevent a major crisis tomorrow. And this is the ultimate goal, right? This tech isn't about watching over someone. It's about empowering them. It provides a safety net that gives both the senior and their family the peace of mind they need to live independently and with dignity for as long as possible. This technology is also a massive support for caregivers. It helps ease that constant worry and gives them concrete data to help manage care. And for the whole system, it helps keep people out of costly long-term care facilities and hospitals, which helps make healthcare more sustainable for everyone.
So when you put it all together, the effects are just profound. You get this trifecta of benefits. It can lower the overall cost, it allows care to be provided to more people, and, most importantly, it fundamentally improves the quality of that care.
So, as we wrap this up, it all brings us back to the big picture. This technology is more than just a bunch of gadgets. It represents a whole new model for how we provide care. It really prompts us to think about how we want to live as we get older and how we can best support the people we love. It really is a new era of care, and it's happening right